welcome back to What's Relevant. I'm Silas. This is Daniel. We're here to talk today about a little bit of a different problem, which might be what we've talked about in the past. This is more talking about what do you do when you want to figure out what's going to take to solve a problem. You know, if I have an idea, I have a project that needs done, how do I go about getting that problem solved?
Sure, and you really need to look at, well, what's the scope of what I'm looking at? What am I trying to do? Am I solving a single problem? Am I solving a larger issue? So you need to kind of break that down into figuring out what it is that you need in order to solve your problem. So first we'll look at the component type approach to solving a problem for when it comes to implementing something that maybe it's only solving one part of your issue, whether it be an amplifier or a power supply. You can think of it almost as a component. Even if it's a box, you're really solving one problem, and that one thing has specs and interfaces, but it's really one part of your design, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, a design could have multiple kind of pieces in this component category, or it could just strictly be that thing, right? You might say, I just need a new power supply for this system that I already have, or I just need a new amplifier or some other small piece.
It's doing that kind of single function. Maybe it's the amplifier, you have that single linear device, power supply just providing power. You just want it to do the thing and move on.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And that can be a part of the thing, or that could be a part of something larger, right? If you come and say, hey, I don't just need one piece, but I need something that's going to have some integration, maybe, you know, power to an amplifier to communication channel, right? All through one whole piece.
Moving from that power supply to maybe something that has some reporting and other things into it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that could be like a smart power supply maybe, or a battery charger that has a little bit of something larger than that. But even that could just be a component of solving an even bigger problem.
So what does that, moving from that component to module, what does that look like?
There's definitely a lot of complexity, right? When you're looking at that problem, you've got to go from what is the requirements of this piece to now you pretty much have to look at some system interfaces. Now you're talking about some larger documentation. You could possibly be talking about user manuals. So a lot of different things could come into what does it take to solve that problem.
Sure, sure. And moving from that module perspective into something larger where you have a unit that does something that has many different facets to it. Maybe it's display, maybe it's dealing with power conversion, data logging, other things. And here we look at things like the G-meter that we've designed and built in other devices where they have those other facets to them, dealing with input, user interface, just, you know, displaying what the system's actually doing to the user, providing utilities in the background, whether data recording, other things like that, right?
Yeah, one of the big things when you step up to that level is you're probably talking about something that's going to be interfacing to an external box.
Sure.
And so now we're having to come into and say, I need to understand the thing I'm talking to. I need to understand that protocol. I need to understand, you know, what commands that device is expecting, or like you said, a user interface or something like that. So that definitely adds another tier to that
which could
project.
be like a radar computer or something like that, dealing with interfaces or things like that, right?
A navigation system, you know, a radar computer, you know, switches in the control panel, the cockpit, you know, anything like that.
But then we go quickly from there to, well, obviously if you have a radar computer, you have a radar system. And if we're going from the point of having a computer or a RF front end or an antenna, now we have that system design perspective, and we're putting a system together that's not just components or modules or individual units, but it's a system of different units that are making a whole that solve a problem, whether it be a complete radar system or a flight control system where you have a flight control computer, you have the interface for the pilot, and then you have the actual outputs to the controls and inputs themselves, right?
Sure, and that you know, you're talking about a much bigger scope. You know, multiple boxes, each with independent testing, plus your own internal integration testing, plus integrating that system into the larger platform as a whole, whatever that may be. Oftentimes, now, you could have a standalone system, for example, that just did its own thing, and that was the whole of it. But a lot of times, you have higher level integration as well that you got to take into account. So, you know, coming from a component to a system, you could be talking from, you know, some days or weeks to, you know, months to years for a full system.
Absolutely. So depending on what it is you're looking for, Duotech has a wide range of capabilities and skills and experience to help you move from your requirements to the end product. Here at Duotech, check out some of our projects like the G-meter, our Delta radar system at duotechservices.com. And if you have an opportunity, follow us on YouTube and Twitter.